Smoke rose in the sky like a black flag. Crowd stood in silence on the rocky hill of the prison world. Wind blew dust across metal chains and broken stone. A small alien girl stood in the center of the execution square, her hands tied behind her back. Her head was low. Her feet were bare and shaking. Guards aimed plasma rifles at her. Their armor was silver with red claws on the chest. Execution time was now. The crowd was ordered to watch and learn a lesson. She had stolen food from a royal ship. That was her crime. The law was death. No trial, no mercy, no one moved, no one spoke. Until a single human voice broke the silence. "Wait," the man shouted from the crowd. All heads turned, eyes widened. The human stepped forward. He was tall, dust on his boots, a torn jacket. He looked like a traveler. Not rich, not powerful, just a man. The guards pointed their guns at him. "Step back, human." One of them growled, "This is not your concern." But he didn't move. He raised both hands and walked closer. "She's just a child," he said. "Is this justice on your planet? Executing a girl for hunger?" The crowd whispered. Some looked away. Some were afraid. One elder woman covered her mouth. The commander stepped down from a tower. He had one metal eye and sharp yellow teeth. "Do you dare question the law of Ren?" he asked. "Do you wish to die beside her?" The human did not blink. He walked until he stood between the girl and the guns. His shadow fell across her small body. "She is not dying today," he said. The commander raised a hand, but the guards hesitated. No one had ever done this. No human had ever interfered. The little girl looked up. Her eyes were big and wet. She whispered something only he could hear. "Thank you." Suddenly, a loud noise echoed across the field. A warning siren. Red lights flashed from the towers. A voice spoke from a speaker. "Unknown ship, entering orbit, level 1 alert." The commander cursed. He gave a sharp signal. "Take the girl and the human. Lock them both underground." But just then, a wave of wind hit the square. Everyone looked up. A black shadow passed over the prison hill. A small stealth ship. No lights, no name, just silence. Then it was gone. The commander growled. He had other things to handle. Now he waved his guards off. "Fine, let the human keep the Bratton till we sort this mess." The human lifted the girl gently. She was light to light skin. He carried her away. People watched, but no one dared stop him. That night, he found an old shelter near the cliffside. He gave her food, wrapped her in a coat. She slept in silence, like someone used to pain. He sat by the fire, thinking. Why did he step forward? Why her? He didn't have answers. But something in her eyes had grabbed his soul. He was about to close his eyes. When he heard it, knock, 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 on wood, on metal. The door of the shelter, someone was outside. He reached for his old blade. Heart racing, he stood, and opened the door slowly. An alien figure stood in the dark, wearing a black cloak. Eyes glowing like two burning stars. A voice cold as ice spoke, "You saved the wrong girl, human." And then the assassin stepped inside. The assassin stepped inside the small shelter. Her cloak brushed the ground like a shadow. Flowing over stone, the fire behind the human shook softly. As if afraid, he stood still with the blade in his hand. But the assassin did not raise a weapon. She only watched him with cold, burning eyes. The little alien girl slept in the corner, wrapped in his old coat, breathing slow and weak. She did not hear the danger, standing a few steps away. The assassin pointed at the girl and whispered, "You saved the wrong child. Human, now you will die for it." The human frowned. He tightened his grip on the blade, but he kept his voice level. Why was she going to die in the first place? Who wanted her gone, and why are you here? The assassin lifted her hand. Something small and silver dropped to the floor. It was a throwing blade with a symbol carved into the metal. A crow made of sharp wings. The mark of the Council of Crows, one of the deadliest assassin groups in the galaxy. "This should have been in your heart," she said. I was sent to end your life the moment you stepped between the soldiers and the girl, but I did not strike. Not yet. The human stepped closer. Why not? Why wait? The assassin moved her mask slightly enough for him to see a part of her cheek, a scar running from jaw to neck. Her voice became even colder. Because killing you too fast would be a waste. You have no idea what storm you stepped into. You do not know who she is. The human looked at the sleeping child. She was small, weak, afraid. She looked nothing like a threat. He shook his head. She is just a girl, starving and alone, nothing more. The assassin let out a low, soft sound, almost like a laugh without joy. That is what you think, but her blood is not simple. Her family is not simple. Her crime is not simple. And the people who want her erased will not stop. The human felt a chill crawl down his spine. He bent beside the girl and checked her pulse. Still slow, still soft, like she had no strength left. He looked up. Tell me what they want with her. Tell me why they want her dead. The assassin walked around the room, her steps silent like a whisper. She touched the wall and looked outside through a crack. A storm was forming over the prison hills. Lightning flashed the sky, growled. If I tell you, she said, you may still die, but at least you will die knowing the truth. The child you saved carries a secret, one that kings fear. One that generals hide, one that cannot be allowed to rise again. The human stared. What secret? What is she? The assassin leaned close, her voice low, her words slow. She is royal blood, but not pure. She is half something else. Oh, something forbidden on this world, and you saving her has broken a plan years in the making. The human felt his heart race. He looked at the girl with new eyes. Who abandoned you, little one? What did they do to you? Before he could ask more, a loud sound echoed from outside, metal hitting stone, lights flashing across the hills. The assassin turned her head sharply. They found you, she said. The soldiers are coming, not for you, for her, and if they find her here, they will burn this place with you inside. The human stood. He lifted the girl gently. She stirred, but did not wake. Her small fingers held his jacket like she was afraid to let go. The assassin opened the door again. The cold night air rushed in. She stepped outside and pointed toward the lower cliffs. Go down the tunnel, hide her in the old mining path. No one searches there now. If you stay here, you die. The human stopped. Why help me? Why warn me? You came to kill me. The assassin pulled her mask down fully. Only her eyes, visible eyes, full of secrets. Not everything is as you think, she said. Run, human, run fast. He ran into the night, carrying the girl, wind screaming across the cliff's, lights chasing him from behind. The assassin watched from the doorway, silent, still, like she was waiting for something only she understood, and far above. A second shadow ship moved across the dark sky, another assassin arriving. One who would not hesitate like her. The tunnel was dark and cold. The human held the small girl close to his chest. Her breath was light, like a whisper. His boots splashed through wet stone as he moved deeper underground. The assassin had said no one would search here. Old mining tunnels, long forgotten, broken wires, and rusted beams filled the narrow path. He found a corner far from the surface. He placed her down gently. She did not open her eyes. He wrapped her in his jacket. He watched her for a long time. Then he sat with his back against the wall. Sleep came slowly. Fear kept his eyes open, but he drifted off anyway. A sound woke him, not loud, just soft enough to stir a feeling of dread. He reached for his blade, but his hand touched only empty air. He looked around. His jacket was still there, but the girl was gone. He stood up fast. Called her name, no answer. He searched the shadows, only silence. Then he saw at her shoes, one near the wall, one in the center of the floor. A small smear of blood nearby. His heart pounded. He grabbed his blade and ran through the tunnel. His voice echoed, but no voice came back. Just the drip of water and the creak of old metal. Then a shape moved in the darkness. He rushed toward it, but it was only a shadow. He stopped breathing for a second. Then he heard steps behind him. He turned fast. The assassin stood there, face hidden, blade at her side. Her voice was cold again. "She is gone." The human growled, "You took her." The assassin shook her head slowly. "No, they took her." The second assassin arrived. The human looked away, eyes burning. "Why did they take her and not kill her? Because she is worth more alive than dead now." The human's voice cracked. "Where did they take her? Where is she now?" The assassin looked up at the cracks in the ceiling. The sky above was filled with storm and thunder. A ship passed overhead. "Silent black, the prison palace," she said, "under the lake of glass. That is where secrets are buried. That is where the girl has been hidden." The human stepped forward. "Then we go. Now we take her back." The assassin tilted her head. "You are not a soldier, not a killer." "Why do you fight for her?" The human's voice was steady. "Because she is not just some alien girl. She is my little sister now." The assassin did not reply, but something changed in her eyes. A flicker of something deep. She walked past him and tossed a small device. It clicked and showed a map. One path led through the dead forest, the other through the beast gate. "Choose one," she said. "Both are dangerous. One is fast, one is quiet." The human pointed at the fast path. No more hiding, no more waiting as they walked. He remembered her small hands holding his jacket, her soft whisper of thank you. He remembered the look in her eyes, hope mixed with fear. The assassin broke the silence. "If you get her back, what will you do?" The human answered without thinking. "Keep her safe. Find a place where no one knows her name, where no one will ever hurt her again." The assassin looked at him for a long moment. Then she nodded. But deep in her heart, she knew no place was safe. Not anymore. The girl was not just royal, not just rare. She was something else. Something ancient. And now she was awake, far away, in a glass prison beneath a dead lake. The little girl opened her eyes. She sat up slowly, chains around her arms. But her eyes were no longer soft. They were glowing. Night wind rushed across the dead forest. The trees were black and tall, branches like twisted claws reaching for the sky. The human moved fast between them, with the assassin walking beside him. Neither spoke. The map device glowed faintly in his hand. Every few steps he stopped and listened. He felt like eyes were watching from every shadow. The assassin suddenly raised her hand. "Stop. Something is wrong." A strange humming was floating through the trees, low and steady, almost like a heartbeat. The human stepped forward to look, but the assassin pulled him back. "Do not move. This is the Watcher Zone. Anything that makes a sound wakes the forest guardians." The human whispered, "Guardians, what are those?" The assassin answered, without turning, "Creatures made from roots and bone. Once protectors, now monsters. They attack anything that breathes." The humming grew louder. The human felt it in his ribs. He looked at the assassin. "If we stay here, they find us. If we move, they find us." "What now?" The assassin slowly reached for the mask, covering her face. Her fingers trembled. She removed the mask and let it fall to the forest floor. The human froze. Under the mask was a face he did not expect. Not sharp, not cruel, but young, tired, and scarred. A scar curved across her cheek, down her neck, old and deep. Her eyes were silver like the moon, but full of pain. She spoke softly. "This mask hides what I am. It gives me strength, but it also binds me to the council. Without it, the forest will not attack me. They know my family blood." The human stared. "You never wanted to kill me, did you?" She looked away. "My first order was to kill the girl. My second order was to kill you. But I failed both, not because of weakness, but because something changed when I saw you protect her. You stood before guns with no armor, no power, no plan. And you did it for a girl you did not know. No assassin understood it, not even me." The forest suddenly shifted. Wood-cracked roots moved, big shapes crawled in the dark. The assassin stepped closer. "If we walk now, quiet, slow. They will not attack, but you must stay close to me. They only respect royal blood. And I am the last daughter of the house that ruled these woods. The human nodded, lead the way. They moved slowly, step by step. The forest guardians watched from the branches, tall wooden bodies glowing with orange cracks. Eyes like burning coals. Some followed silently, some disappeared into mist, but none attacked. After a long walk, the trees opened into a wide clearing. Moonlight shined on a giant stone bridge, and far beyond it lay the lake of glass, a frozen mirror spread across miles. Under it was the prison palace, and under the palace was the girl. The human tightened his fists. We are close, she cannot be far. The assassin touched his arm. Listen, human, there is more you must know before we reach her. The girl is not only half royal, she is half human. That is why she looks frail. That is why she was hidden, a child of two worlds, forbidden to exist. The human felt the ground slip from beneath him. Half human, how is that possible? Who was her father? Who was her mother? The assassin lowered her head. My sister, my older sister, she loved a human long ago. She hid the child. When the council discovered it, they erased her name, erased her face, erased her from every record. Only I tried to protect the child, but I failed. They stole her, and now they want you dead because you stepped into their secret. The human felt his heart break. The little girl he saved. She was family to someone. She belonged to someone. She was not meant to die alone. He placed a hand on the assassin's shoulder. You did not fail. She is alive, and we will get her back. A sound echoed from the lake. Metal scraping. A gate rising. The assassin grabbed his hand. They know we are here. We move now. The human looked at her face one more time, bare, honest, marked by loss. She looked at him not like a killer, but like someone asking for hope. Then they ran toward the lake of glass, toward the girl, toward the truth. Not knowing what waited under the frozen mirror, not knowing who waited for them, only one thing was clear. The night was not over. And the real danger had just begun. The bridge across the lake of glass groaned with every step. Beneath the frozen surface, something moved like a shadow waiting to rise. The human gripped the side rail with one hand. The other hand held tight to the blade he carried since childhood. The assassin moved beside him, silent, focused. Her face still uncovered. The wind pulled at her cloak, but she did not slow. Across the bridge was the gate to the prison palace. An old structure buried under layers of steel and ice. No one entered it without permission. No one left it alive without scars. They reached the gate, a large circle of black metal covered in ancient glyphs. It hissed as it opened. Warm air pushed outward like a deep exhale from the mouth of a beast. They stepped inside. Darkness swallowed them, but they did not stop. Torches lit one by one as they walked. Their steps echoed through the empty corridor. Then the ground shook. A roar came from deep below. Not human, not machine, something older, something alive. The assassin turned. They released the beast. I told them not to. They want to scare us back or kill us. Slow. The human stepped forward. Let it come. A giant shape crashed through the far wall, a creature covered in thick armor. Eyes red like boiling blood, teeth like swords. Chains dragged behind its back. It was not born. It was built to break anything that moved. The human did not run. He looked at the assassin. Take the left path. Find the girl. I will deal with this. The assassin hesitated. You cannot fight that thing. He nodded once. Maybe not, but I can hold it back. She vanished down the hallway. The beast charged the human, ran forward to no armor, no shield, just fists and courage. He ducked under the first strike, grabbed a broken pipe from the wall, swung it with both hands into the beast's leg. The pipe bent like paper. The beast roared. It slammed him into a wall. He gasped, blood in his mouth, but he stood again. He kicked its jaw. It grabbed him and threw him across the chamber. Still he rose. Still he fought. He climbed the beast's back, punched at its head. Tore wires, cracked glass. The beast shook wildly, threw him down again. He landed, hard bones, screaming, visions spinning, but he crawled back. He reached into his boot, pulled out a small spark bomb, his last one. He waited until the beast came close, then leaped forward and shoved the bomb under its jaw. The blast shook the chamber. The beast screamed and slammed into a pillar, then fell silent. The human lay on the ground, breathing hard, chest burning, ribs broken, but he smiled. He won. Moments later, the assassin returned. Her eyes wide, she saw the smoke, the beast's broken body, and the human still alive. "You are insane," she said. "No one fights that thing and lives." He laughed without joy. "I am not most people." She helped him stand together. They walked into the next chamber. Doors opened ahead. Lights flickered. They reached a glass room. Inside, the girl was sitting on the floor, chains on her arms. Her head down, she looked up, her eyes met his. She whispered one word, "Brother." He ran to her, broke the chains, held her tight. She cried into his shoulder, "You came back. I thought you were gone," they said. "You left me." He looked at her. "I will never leave you, not now, not ever." Behind them, a screen turned on. A face appeared, old, cold, familiar. The assassin froze. It was the High Lord of the Council, her father. His voice filled the room. "So you found her, but you will not leave. She was never meant to live. She is a curse, a mistake." The girl hid behind the human. The assassin stepped forward. "No, you are the mistake." She raised her blade. The human stepped in front of both girls, ready for whatever came next. The glass room began to shake. The walls flickered with strange lights. The screen above still showed the face of the High Lord. But his voice was no longer calm. He shouted orders to unseen guards: "Seal the gates. Release the sleepers. Do not let them escape." The assassin stood with her blade ready. The human pulled the little girl behind him, his body bruised and bloodied, but his eyes still clear. Still strong, the little girl looked around the room. She saw the broken chains, the shattered wall where her brother had entered. She looked at her own hands, thin, shaking. Then something inside her heart moved like a memory. Waking up, she closed her eyes. And her breath slowed. The assassin turned to the human. "Something is happening. I can feel it. Her energy is waking." The human knelt beside the girl. "What do you mean? Is she in danger?" The assassin stepped back. "Not danger. She is the danger now." Suddenly the girl opened her eyes. They were no longer black. They glowed bright blue. The lights in the room popped and went out. The screen above exploded in sparks. The High Lord's voice turned into static. The floor cracked beneath their feet. A soft wind blew inside the sealed chamber, but there were no windows, no doors open, just power, raw power. The girl stood without help, her feet steady, her shoulders straight. She looked taller, older, like someone who remembered everything. She looked at the assassin. "You know who I am, say it." The assassin dropped her blade, her hands trembling. "You are the blood of two thrones. You are the breath of two stars. You are the air that cannot exist, and yet you are here." The girl nodded. "I remember now. My mother was royal. My father was human. They hid me, but my soul was never asleep." The human stared in awe. "Is she still the same girl? The one I saved? The one who held my jacket and called me brother?" The girl turned to him, her blue eyes softened, and then she smiled. "Yes, I am still her, but now I am more." They heard boots outside. Doors being forced open, alarms echoed across the halls. The assassin looked toward the noise. "They are coming with shockhounds and scream rifles. We cannot fight them all." The girl raised her hand. "No need. Let them come." The human grabbed her arm. "Wait, if you use too much power, will you still be you?" The girl did not answer. Instead, she walked to the center of the room. She lifted both hands. The air turned heavy. The walls melted like ice. The first wave of guards burst in, but the moment they saw her eyes, they froze. Their weapons dropped. Their knees gave out. One whispered, "She is the lost star, the forbidden light." The girl looked at them without hate, only sorrow. She spoke one word. "Sleep." They collapsed to the ground, breathing unharmed. But deep in dreams they could not wake from, the human ran to her. You saved them. You did not destroy them. She looked at him. You taught me that mercy is stronger than fear. The assassin walked to her and knelt, not as a killer, not as a sister, but as someone who believed again. Forgive me, she said, for failing you, for hiding. The girl placed a hand on her head. Rise, there is nothing left to fear. But the moment felt heavy. Because the power still burned inside her, the human saw her hands. They were trembling again. She looked at him. I cannot hold it forever. This gift, this curse. He placed both hands on her shoulders. Then let me carry it with you. Let me walk beside you, not as a soldier, not as a savior, but as your big brother. She leaned into him, eyes closing for a moment, and then she whispered, we must leave now, because the council will never stop. And the real enemy still waits beyond the stars they move toward, the final gate, the world behind them still shaking. But the bond between them now unbreakable, the girl with glowing eyes, the assassin with a fallen crown. And the human who chose love over war. The final gate opened with a deep rumble. Wind rushed in from the world outside, cold, sharp, fast. The stars above were no longer calm. Ships moved across the sky, dozens, maybe hundreds, each marked with the black crest of the council. The assassin stepped forward and looked through her scope. Every major house has sent soldiers, hunters, kill squads. They are not here for negotiation. They are here for the girl. The human stood beside the little one. She still looked calm, her blue eyes shining in the dark. But her body trembled slightly, not from fear, from the storm rising inside her. He knelt and looked into her eyes. You do not have to fight them. We will find a way out. We can hide. We can run. She shook her head gently. They will burn every world to find me. They will never stop, not until I vanish or destroy everything. The assassin turned. You have another way. Use the void pulse. It will erase the palace, the ships, everything in the air. They will all fall. The girl looked down. If I use it, I will not be the same. After I might lose myself. The human stood then. Do not use it. The assassin stepped back in shock. But they will kill us all. The human raised his voice. Then let them try. Let them come. He walked toward the edge of the cliff, where the gate met the open world, where the wind screamed and the sky cracked with light. He raised both arms. I am the one who stopped the execution. I am the one who fought the beast. I am the one who stood between her and death. You want to reach her? You go through me. The soldiers saw him. Thousands of alien eyes watched the lone human standing tall. No armor, no shield, just fire in his heart. The little girl stepped beside him, took his hand. Her voice rang out like thunder. This is my brother. He is not of royal blood. He is not trained in power, but he is stronger than all of you. A voice came from the lead ship above, cold and cruel. Surrender the girl, or we turn this land into ash. The human looked up. Come and do it. The ships fired. But the girl raised her other hand. A wave of blue light burst from her chest. It spread like a star being born. The blasts from the ships froze mid-air, turned to feathers, then vanished. The soldiers on the ground dropped to their knees. Their weapons burned away in their hands. The assassin watched with wide eyes. This is not the void pulse. This is something else, something older. The girl was floating now, her feet above the ground, eyes glowing like twin stars. She spoke with a voice not just her own, a voice that echoed through time. I am not your weapon. I am not your shame. I am not your secret. I am the child of two worlds, and I choose love over fear. She lowered herself. The light faded. The sky grew still. The ships began to turn away. One by one, they vanished into the dark on the ground silence. Then the assassin stepped forward and knelt again. Not to the girl, but to the choice she made. You could have destroyed us, but you showed us a better way. The human walked to her, wrapped his coat around her shoulders. Let us go home. She looked at him with tired eyes. Where is home? He smiled. Anywhere you are safe, anywhere you are loved. The assassin walked beside them. Three figures walking away from a battlefield that never truly began. Far behind, the council watched in silence, and for the first time in history, they stepped back, not from fear, but from something deeper: respect. The girl looked up at the sky one last time, then whispered, "Let no child ever be born to hide again," and the stars answered her with light.